So I want to also make sure that everyone knows that while we normally record the majority of our meetings, when we get to our program today, the recording will be stopped. So you will not be able to see that portion of it on YouTube like we have in the past. So if you need to take notes, you better take good notes while it's live.
Can I say something here?
So again, welcome to the Iowa City Noon Rotary Club. Please make sure you go to the chat button and sign in. If you're a guest, please identify yourself in the chat button. We will have time for introductions, so we'd love you to introduce yourself, let us know who you are and where you're from. You can watch for that near the beginning of the meeting.
Illegal possession of a gun, police say he was present at the time of the shooting. And the shooting happened.
Now Julie's calling me.
Okay, folks, we are about to get started. So again, before we do so, I just want to make sure everyone knows that you are welcome today here at the Iowa City Noon Rotary Club. My name is Barb Thomas, and I am your president for this year. As we do with all of our Rotary meetings, we actually start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And so if you're able to stand, please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great, thank you all. If you're able to, please mute your microphone, and if not, watch out because Devin is he's a demon on those back-end Zoom controls, and he's going to mute you if we need to. So just watch for that. And speaking of Devin and Zoom, I'm going to actually go to him right now for just a few Zoom reminders before we get started. Devin?
Thanks, President Barb. Hey, everybody. Quick Zoom tips. You've probably done this a billion times before. Key, make sure that you are ready to switch between speaker view and gallery view if you want to see a bunch of smiling faces, or hopefully just one smiling face, or at least one presenting serious face. Other options that you have in the reactions, there are a couple of different things you can do. One of those is to raise your hand, which is especially useful during questions or if you have an announcement. And then there are also some fun reactions as well. So if you want to give people a clap or thumbs up if they've done something well, it's especially fun on mobile devices if you see those coming through, because it comes through like a little extra confetti. So anyway, hope you guys all enjoy this meeting and the Zoom tips for today. Back to you, President Barb.
Great, thank you very much, Devin. And so we would love to hear from our visitors today. So if you're a visitor, just a reminder, you can go to the participant button and choose to raise your hand. And if you'd like to introduce someone, you could. I do know that Colleen Brown has a guest today. Devin will be calling on everyone, but first, Colleen, why don't you go ahead and introduce your guest?
Okay, sure. Hello, everybody. I have a guest. Actually, I just met them today. And Mr. Aaron Roseman and his partner, I didn't catch her names, but I'll turn it over and let them introduce themselves. Make sure you take yourself off mute.
Thank you very much, Colleen. I'm Ronnie. This is my partner and husband, Aaron. We are new in Iowa City. We've just moved here in mid-June. And we started a new business, a home care business. It's a franchise of a Canadian company called Nurse Next Door. And we started working 2 weeks ago. We've already had the pleasure of meeting a few local families here in Iowa City, and it's a great privilege. It's an extraordinary experience. It's actually everything we were hoping for it to be. It allows us to really get to know people, meet people, and learn about. Try to immerse ourselves in the culture, in the community, and that's what we're trying to do here now. We're just trying to get to know people and to learn about everything that's going on here and become a part of the community, hopefully.
Well, excellent. Welcome to Iowa City. I think we all want to share that welcome with you. I think if you're impressed with Iowa City during COVID times, just you wait until we're actually able to go to restaurants, and there's the Jazz Festival and the Arts Festival, and you can do all of the amazing things that are in our community. So welcome, and we're glad that you could join us here at Rotary. Feel free to come back at any other time. I'm going to turn this back over to Devin to introduce our other guests. Devin?
Somebody whose screen name is Nicole, you have your hand raised. You have a guest or are a guest?
Hello, everyone.
Oh, hi, Carrie.
Hi, Devin. How are you? It's good to see a familiar face from the Center for Advancement. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Carrie Nickel. I am a guest of Kelly Drown today, so thank you so much, Kelly, for inviting me. I am the Senior Director of Development for the University of Iowa Stead Family Children's Hospital. It's wonderful to be here this afternoon, and look forward to having some interesting conversation and getting an opportunity to get to know a few more people in the Iowa City area. So thank you.
Thanks for coming, Carrie. Good to see you. Jen, you have your hand raised. You're Barb Thomas's guest. Barb, you want to say anything?
Oh, I think Jen does a great job of introducing herself. Go ahead, Jen.
Hi, everyone. I'm really delighted to be able to join today. My name is Jen Blackhurst, and I work with Barb Thomas in the Tippie College of Business. And in July, I took over the role as Associate Dean of Graduate Management Programs. And I'm really delighted again to be here today. I also happen to be friends with many of the people on the call as well. So hello to my friend Kelly Drown. And again, thank you. And I think this is a fabulous group. I've heard amazing things about it from Barb and Kelly as well.
Thanks for joining us, Jen. Ryan, you have a guest?
I do have a guest. I have a friend of mine I've known for about 15 years who I wanted to bring to this meeting. He's actually in the job market and is one of those rare people that knows accounting and numbers and forecasting and all that good stuff, but he can also sell and talk to people. So Casey, why don't you introduce yourself?
Thanks, Ryan. Yeah, my name's Casey O'Donnell. I am locally born and raised from Cedar Rapids. My wife and I currently live in Palo, Iowa. We just moved to a new home about a week ago. So we have two little kids, third grade daughter and our first grade son. Like Ryan said, we've known each other for 15-ish years. My wife and Ryan were track stars at University of South Dakota way back in the day. So we lived in Atlanta together, had a lot of good experiences. I know Ryan's wife, Colleen, and their kids, and appreciate Ryan letting me jump on today and listen in on today's call. Thank you.
Yeah, welcome, Casey. Thanks for joining us. Dawn Kluber, you have your hand raised.
Oops, it looks like can you hear me? It looks like my camera's not doing what it's supposed to be doing. But I'm Dawn Kluber. I'm Barbara Thomas's guest, and I work at the Tippie College of Business, responsible for the Executive MBA program. It's good to see some familiar faces in this crowd. Greetings, everybody.
Yeah, welcome. Thanks for joining us. Kelly Drown, you've got your hand raised as well. Did you have your hand raised for Carrie as your guest?
Well, Carrie and then Diane Johnson. So she might have her hand raised as well, but wanted to make sure that she has an opportunity to introduce herself as well.
Perfect. Diane, go ahead.
Hi, everybody. Diane Johnson. As Kelly said, I'm her guest today. We work together at the UI Center for Advancement. I'm the grants manager in the Corporate and Foundation Relations Department. And while I'm not a member of the group, I do see a lot of familiar faces. So hello.
Hi, welcome. Deanna, you've got your hand raised.
Yes, I am part of the pack of Barb Thomas today, so I'm delighted to be here. I have had several roles within the Tippy College and also know many of the faces, but my current role is my exciting one, as it is with all of you, the current role. And I work with our part-time graduate students in analytics and MBA in their career management. So delighted to be here and delighted to hear our speaker today. Thank you.
Thanks for coming, Deanna. Mackenzie, you've got your hand raised.
Hi, everyone. I'm also with Team Barb Thomas today. I work at the Tippy College of Business. I'm the Associate Director of Corporate Development for Specialized Master's Programs. And prior to that, I worked at the Iowa City Area Chamber of Commerce. So many of you I have seen and are familiar with from those days as well. So it's exciting to see all the familiar names popping up in the participant list. So delighted to be here. And thanks again, Barb, for the invitation.
Thanks for joining us, Mackenzie. Good to see you. Ali, you have your hand raised.
Hello, everyone. I too am part of Team Barb Thomas and delighted to be a guest here today. My name is Ali Yildirim. I'm the Executive Director for Marketing and Recruiting at the Tippy College of Business and delighted to be part of this conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. Those are all the hands that I see raised. Anybody else who needs to introduce a guest or is a guest? All right, back to you, President Barb.
Great, thanks, Devin, and welcome to everyone that's here, especially my good friends at the Tippy College of Business. So I do have one inspiration, and it's because of John Kenyon. You know, we do have these newcomers who are attending our meeting today, and they're new to town. So here's the challenge. Go into the chat box and list at least one item that you love about being in the Iowa City, Coralville area that this couple should take advantage of when they have the opportunity. Okay, think about it. Is it the Arts Festival? Now, John Kenyon mentioned the Book Festival, right? So of course he did. He's the head of the UNESCO City of Literature. So that's your challenge today. Think about it, add it to it, and then we will make sure that we share it with that couple as well. So again, it's a great way for us to welcome people to our community. So I do want to share something with you all. Hold on. And let's see. There we go. So this picture, as you see, is the result of the annual area Rotary Club food fight. And if you're unfamiliar with it, there are 4 Rotary clubs in the area. We all compete to provide once a year to provide more food to community, which provides food to the insecure. So the winner this year is the Downtown Rotary Club. And you see Mark Ruggeberg there. He is the immediate past president of their club. And Amy Nicholson on the left is handing over the famous golden turkey that is the grand prize for the area club that brings in the most food to community. So while the Downtown Club is the winner of this, in truth, the winners is that we have raised almost 100,000 pounds of food for the area insecure. So kudos to everyone who contributed to that cause. It's great that it happened, and we're appreciative of all 4 clubs and what we're able to do for those in our community. Next, I'm going to turn it over to Eric Wheeler, our president-elect, who's going to talk to you about our Rotary Board elections. Eric?
Great. Thank you, President Barb. Just a quick announcement about our annual Rotary Board election. And unlike what we all saw on Tuesday night, we're going to handle ours with dignity and class. And with Zoom, if someone gets out of hand, we can just mute them easily. But all kidding aside, we have 5 very strong candidates for 2 open board positions. And we also have a wonderful candidate for our president-elect nominee. So this past Sunday evening, we emailed the ballot out to everybody. And we appreciate everyone that's taken the time to vote so far. If you haven't voted yet, we ask that you do so by the end of the day on October 11th. And what I'll do in about a minute, I'll put the link to the ballot in the chat box so you'll have that if you haven't voted already. And we'll also include the link to the ballot in our meeting minutes. So back to you, President Barb, and make sure everyone, if you haven't voted, vote by October 11th.
Great. Thank you so much, Eric. Truly appreciate you sharing that information with everyone. So before we move on, I do want to remind people that we're getting social and we're doing it through Zoom. And so next Tuesday, October 6th, we are holding our first virtual Rotary Social. We'll do that from 4 to 5:30 p.m. We'll have some polls. We'll break into Zoom rooms. You'll have the opportunity to talk in small groups like you would if we were actually at our regular meetings in person at your table. So it gives you an opportunity to meet other members, kind of have some conversation, talk a bit about different things. But in addition, we have raffle prizes. That is right, ladies and gentlemen, raffle prizes, and we have 3. So we have a $50 gift card to Hertine and Stocker, a $50 gift card to the Bread Garden, and we also have an overnight stay to the new Highlander Hotel. So as many of you know, that used to be the Clarion Hotel. It has undergone an amazing transformation, and it is now the Highlander, and they are going to give us a night stay that we're going to raffle away. So if any of you are guests and you're kind of interested in joining Rotary and you want to join our really cool Zoom social, please reach out to me or any other Rotarian, and we'd be happy to share that information with you. So again, mark your calendars, next Tuesday, October 6th, 4 to 5:30. So next, we're going to go to our Rotary moment of gratitude and positivity. This is a new tradition that we started once we went virtual because, frankly, in these COVID times of working from our basement offices, we all need a little bit of a positive story to kind of help us through the day. So today, we're going to hear from Rotarian Mark Pries. Mark?
Thanks, Barb. I'm dressed because I'm going to be going to see the state champion DCG Mustangs in cross country at Southeast Polk, and I need to be there at 3 o'clock, so I'm going to talk fast, and I'll have to leave the meeting early. Like most of you, I'm grateful every day I wake up, and the first thing I do is I douse my head with the coldest water I can get out of the tap, and I think about who I am. And I remember I'm God's child, and that shapes my day. And I used to think about every day, since my retirement, I started to think about I'm spending one more day out of my bank of days, and eventually I'll run out. But I've had a good reshaping of that vision, and now I'm aware that every day is an investment in the legacy of my life and my investment in my community. My largest gratitude in my life is being married to Leslie. Some of you may know Leslie as the former receptionist at Hills Bank on Gilbert. We've been married 48 years. The pandemic has actually brought us closer together, as you might imagine. We've quarantined ourselves to the house, except for going to the cross-country meets. For all 4 of our grandchildren are involved in cross-country, and our children are their coaches. In this quarantine, however, the very new dining room table in our house now has a cribbage board as the centerpiece. The card table has a jigsaw puzzle on it, in the works. The stack of books is finally going down. We're starting to read more and more. Happy hour is usually at 4 o'clock, following our daily masked constitutional to Willow Creek Park, and then wandering through the neighborhoods. We've bumped into Barb on our walk. We've enjoyed patio happy hours or garage meals with family and friends. It's also a time that Leslie's become a great cook. She's always been a good cook, but now she's working on what she calls her quarantini cookbook. So she's old recipes or enhancing recipes, and we really do eat good. My gratitude, I think, has a special meaning because of the Rotarian 4-way test. It reflects the life that I've lived always, from my child being trained that way, and then being invited to join Rotary in 2009 by Jim Lane. This has been a great privilege. Truth, fairness, goodwill, better friendships, beneficial. Themes for a servant life. And it's 2, how I was raised. My dad was a public school teacher. Dad was also the organist at our church. As a teacher, he understood himself as a public servant. In the 50s, he spoke publicly opposing forming a teachers union. He thought of himself as a public servant, and he trusted the government to respect his work and to provide him a living wage. As a church organist, he endured the annual meeting discussions, arguments, as to whether or not the organist should be paid, since we don't pay the Sunday school teachers. We always sat silent during those meetings, and when he would be paid, he always gave the money back as part of our offering, because his service was his talent, and he served with it. Nobody needed to know. I've had this life of privilege. My privilege included going to college, but more than that, I think about myself as a pipeliner from kindergarten through seminary, 21 years of school. I've learned more ways to live the servant life that my father modeled for me. As a Christian theologian, I was able to recognize Jesus as the king who washes feet. Today, I'd like you to join me in giving thanks for President Jimmy Carter, the 39th President of the United States. Today's his 96th birthday. He served only one term as president, and I could talk about the highs and lows of his presidency. A lot of you may know them, but do take a few minutes to learn about his presidency and his life of service. President Carter is the oldest living president, but he's also the oldest any president has ever lived. In his retirement, he's continued as a servant leader, notably his work with Habitat for Humanity. And like most of you, I give thanks for being a citizen of these United States of America, which I understand to be a free country and a servant nation. And soon we'll have the great privilege of voting in local and state and national elections. What a privilege it is for us. My positivity is I'm with you, I'm an American, and I'm a servant. And now Grandpa's going to a cross-country meet. God bless.
Thank you so much, Mark. And go Mustangs, right? Let's hope those Mustangs do well today.
Thanks very much.
Great. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. I'm going to share my screen one more time with you. And I'm just, we have our Rotary masks. Let's see if I can get this to work. Here we go. And I've asked you all to send me pictures of you in your Rotary mask. And I just want to share the updated version with some of the additional photographs that we have received. So if you haven't seen those friendly faces lately, here's an opportunity for you to see your fellow Rotarians in mask. And just remember that if you'd like to be included in this cool collage, all you have to do is take a picture of you in your Rotary mask and send it to my attention. I have to say, I think it's a great group of people. All right, and with that, I am going to next ask Bill Oglesby to, he's going to share a video with us that highlights one of Rotary's different areas of focus. Bill?
Say hi, Bill. Hi, President Barb. Yeah, I'm on. Okay. I have a, one of the areas of focus is about the environment, which I'm going to show you right now.
Planet is facing many challenges that threaten the well-being of millions of people around the world. Over the past few weeks, we've seen unprecedented bushfires, droughts, typhoons, floods, and now the COVID pandemic. We've seen large cities run short of water. We've seen landscapes that once had healthy soils turn to deserts. We need Mother Nature to thrive if we as a species are to thrive and provide social justice to those born into less fortunate parts of the world. Over the past 115 years, Rotary has built the world's largest network of communities of humanitarians. People who take action, and by applying the four-way test, serve communities around the planet. Understanding that nature needs to thrive for humans to thrive, Rotary International and the Foundation have recently announced that supporting the environment is now our new area of focus. Providing volunteer opportunities for people concerned about the environmental sustainability can also help Rotary create membership sustainability, so we can build on the foundations of the past 115 years. We can have meaningful impact and create a cleaner, healthier world by working together to collaborate and take action, whether it be planting trees, greening cities, picking up plastics, saving waterways, keeping food waste out of landfill, or switching to renewable energy like solar and wind power. Rotarians and the wider community can now join with us and be part of ESRAD, the Environmental Sustainability Rotary Action Group, and play a role in creating a better world for future generations.
Okay, President Barb, that's it.
Excellent. Thanks so much, Bill. We appreciate that. And that does remind me that we do have a committee within our club that is focused on environmental concerns, and it's chaired by Dave Brown, and they're actually working on a highway, what do we call it? Highway adoption. And so we're going to adopt a piece of the highway down by Terry Trueblood Park, and Dave and his committee is working on trying to find a day when we might be able to do some, trash pickup, kind of a roadway cleanup. We're going to try to get that in before this cold weather hits. So if you're interested in the Environmental Concerns Committee, I encourage you to reach out to Dave Brown. You could even mention something in the chat and Dave will watch for that. And then in a week or so, you will hear from us about the day that we'll do that, if you would like to join the volunteer effort. So next, it's actually my pleasure to introduce our speaker for today. So our speaker is Phil Jasper, who leads the Mission Systems Strategic Business Unit at Collins Aerospace in Cedar Rapids. In this role, he is responsible for delivering military, government, and civil solutions to help customers worldwide safely and successfully complete their most complex missions. A 26-year veteran of the industry, Phil previously served in a number of leadership roles at Rockwell Collins, and he is committed to developing innovations that keep warfighters safe, connected, and informed. He brings his innovative approach to Collins Aerospace, where he is focused on transforming the mission systems business into the leading provider of mission capabilities for the aerospace and defense industry. Phil participates in STEM outreach activities in the community, volunteers with the United Way, and is a member of the Iowa State Engineering Council, as well as the Cedar Rapids Business Advisory Council and the Iowa Business Council. Working with Congress and the U.S. Department of Defense, he continues to serve as a lead advocate to help streamline how the United States procures commercial items and to protect intellectual property rights. He's a native of Lamont, Iowa, and holds a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in aerospace engineering and a minor in business administration from Iowa State University. And with that, I will turn it over to Phil Jasper. Participation today, our club will make a $10 donation to Rotary International's Polio Plus program. And every donation to that Polio Plus program is actually matched 2-to-1 by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. And so just so you're aware, that $30 contribution will actually provide 70 vaccines of polio. And as you may have heard through Rotary, we are this close to eliminating polio together. So we are going to do that in your name.
Well, thank you very much. That's very important to me. You know, my wife, one of my wife's uncles is suffering the lasting effects of having polio. So that's a tremendous effort. And I'm humbled that you would do that. So thank you, and thank you for the great work that you're doing as Rotarians as well. Really important continuing to advocate there.
Great. Well, thanks so much, Phil. And, you know, we're all about service above self. And again, we encourage anybody that attended today as a guest to return again. We would love to have you join us for future meetings. And a reminder, we have that social on Tuesday as well. And so as we end all of our meetings, we actually recite the four-way test. So for everyone, if you want to unmute your microphone, you can join us in the four-way test. So all of the things that we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
Will it be
Will it
beneficial
to all concerned? So thank you all for joining us today. Have a wonderful Thursday. And Phil, again, thank you for being our speaker today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
Thank you.